And good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope today has been grand and all is well in your world. Hello, everybody. As the end of 2022 draws near, people of the tube, in but a day or two, I've forgotten because I don't have my calendar and I live and die by it, but I don't have it here. But anyway, as the end of 2022 draws near, it's guitar collection time again, people of the tube. So let's not waste any time because there's a lot to get through. So let's start here. So this is my Yamaha Easy AG guitar synth, I suppose you can call it. This is basically actually made to as a learning device. Really, this is kind of like, you know, to teach people how to play. But I love it for all the kind of like lo-fi guitar noises and bass noises and piano and synth. I've got a demo of all the guitars you're going to see today, people tube. So if you do want to see a bit more an in-depth look on these things, because obviously I can't plug them all in. I wish I could, but we're here till next New Year's Eve. But yeah, so I do have videos on these, so if you want to check them out, just they're on my channel somewhere. But I really love this thing, and I do actually have a desire, and me, Queenie, and John Joe have a plan. At some point, we're going to do like an electro EP. It's not going to be associated with the trio. It's going to be totally separate. But for that EP, I'm going to use only this. I'm not going to use any guitars other than this. And obviously my synthesizer, which is over there. But that's what I'm going to use. So at some point, there will be some kind of weird electro EP coming. And I'll just use this. This will probably be the main thing I use. My Korg synth that's over in the corner, I'll probably use quite a lot as well. But I wanted something a bit out of my comfort zone and something like, you know, I just can't. I'll just do this and I'll just bend that string there. Can't do that on this one. You know, it has to be right and it has to be a certain way. So I love this thing. It's fantastic. It's not slightly dusty, but this thing's amazing. I really love these things. So yeah, first guitar of 2022's guitar collection, people tube. This is the Yamaha Easy AG. Amazing thing. So moving along, let's do acoustics. So this is my Kawai KG45 nylon string acoustic, and I have, again, I say, like, I've demoed this guitar before, but I was told when I bought this, it sounds gorgeous, that it's from 1964 or something like that, and that's actually wrong. It's not. This is actually from 1970. Doing a bit more research online this year about these old Kawai kind of guitars, these Japanese-made nylon strings. I found this guy talking about these, and he said underneath the neck cavity here, underneath the neck, and on the bracing, there should be three numbers. Three individual kind of things and numbers, and this one's 45, 8, and 20. And off them, you can date when these things were made. And I say this was made in 1970, kind of mid-ish 1970. So there's a bit of an amendment there, people would choose. So this is not a 60s nylon string. This is actually 1970. And it's just fantastic. I've got it in C standard tuning. So basically it's just that's a C major chord, but it's all down tuned. And it was a tuning I bought it in. The people I bought it from, they'd slack tuned it because they weren't using it. And they didn't want to bow the neck, even though it is steel reinforced. Oh, by the way, that's I wrote that on the back, so I don't have to keep looking in there when I want the numbers. And they'd slack tuned it, and when I got the guitar, it just sounded amazing. And then what I did is I had it electrified, so it's got a little piezo pickup in the bridge. It's just passive; it's not active because I don't really like active anything. Mainly because I'm stupid and I'd forget to change the battery, or I'd leave it plugged in like an idiot and drain the battery. But when I got that done, obviously the luthier who did it tuned it back up to concert pitch, normal E standard tuning. And I got it back and I was like, oh, it doesn't sound as good as I remembered it. And then I thought, oh, well, let me put it back down to C. And I put it down to C standard and it just came back alive. And it just sounds amazing. It really does. And I love this guitar. And again, very, very old, but in incredibly good condition. It does have scratches, but I love it. And again, it's really inspiring to play. and it sounds great, and I love it to bits. So this is a Kawai KG45 overdue. So moving along, next acoustic that's here. By the way, these are all the guitars I have at Queenie's right now. My guitars fluctuate between all sorts of different places, so these are the ones I've got here now. This will not be this way very soon. It will all change at some point, and they just go all over the place, my guitars do. Okay, so moving along anyway. So this is my Alvarez Delta 00, and this guitar is fantastic. This is mainly here for recording. When me and Queenie record and stuff, which is invariably, it's better to record here because Queenie's got these really good Ashdown studio monitors than at mine, where I don't really have the best monitors. That's what this is here for, because this is electric as well. It's got the same pickup as the nylon string, just a little piezo passive pickup, and it records really nicely. Not only mic'd, but also plugged in, DI'd. It sounds amazing, and I love this guitar. It's absolutely stunning. The neck is fantastic. It sounds great. Plays great. Is great. Love it a bit. So yeah, that's my other guitar here. That's my other acoustic. It's nice to have. I don't have a 12 string here. I've got a 12 string at home, but they're my two acoustics here. That they just kind of stay here, really, to be honest. They don't fluctuate. They're kind of like stable here. As is the next two. These guitars don't go back to mine either. They just kind of belong here at Queenie's. They just do. So, moving along. First of the electrics. So this is my BC Rich Mockingbird Plus, and I love this thing. Like I said, I wanted a Mockingbird forever, and finally got my hands on one thanks to Mr. Bob. So Bob, thank you very much. And I love it to bits. It's just amazing. It's got a stunning burl top, which you can just get lost in for hours. You don't even have to play the thing to be lost in it. It looks like a H.R. Geiger painting. But it's absolutely amazing. I love Mockingbirds. And unlike a lot of Mockingbirds I've tried, this thing doesn't nosedive, which is like a miracle in itself, because a lot of Mockingbirds I've played, they all nosedive. This one doesn't. And I like that. And I don't know why that is, but it's just extremely well balanced, this one. And the neck is to die for. The action is to die for. I've actually got this strum up with 9s. Initially I had 10s on it, but the guitar didn't like it, and I didn't like it. So I restrung it with 9-42s, Diodarios, and we're both very happy now. I'm going to put that over here, though, because it's going to be a nightmare getting that back in. So, you sit there. And plus, trying to get that thing to stand up is a nightmare, but I still love it. So, moving along, comes to another guitar that hasn't left here. I lent this to Queenie. Crikey. 2021. This has been here for a long time now. And for about a year and a bit now, and it just doesn't want to leave, and I can't blame it. So this is my Oswald John Frusciante replica Strat. I have updated the relic on it, as you can see there. I've done a bit more to the back as well, around the edges, like John's guitar looks now. And this guitar's amazing. If you've been around this channel long enough, you'll have seen this guitar. And again, I just love it. And again, this is a constant here, this guitar is. Whereas this last one, because I say this is all the guitars I have here for now, this guitar is not. This is a flux guitar. This one goes all over the place with me. And this is my East Coast Gold Top Les Paul that I bought at Anderton's earlier on this year. And weird enough, every time I've been to Anderton's since, I've never seen a Gold Top East Coast Gold Les Paul. I've seen Tobacco Burst and the Cherry Burst, but I have not seen another Gold Top, so it was just meant to be. And this is one of my favourite Les Pauls. Is it my favourite? It's close, if it's not. But I love this guitar to bits. I love the fact it's a Gold Top. I'm a Gold Top nut. It's all stock apart from I've sanded the chrome off the pickup covers. I sanded it down and I got to this kind of copper layer. And I thought, what's below the copper layer? And I got to like a brass layer. So the pickup covers are actually gold. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's really hard to film because the entire guitar is so shiny. But and now the pickup covers are gold, but they do have remnants of the kind of like the bronze colour and the chrome. And they just look really cool. And I actually prefer the sound of this guitar with the pickup covers off. But it just looked too cool, and it doesn't change the sound too much, to be honest with you. It doesn't darken it down too much, and so they're back on there, and it's just a stunning looking guitar. This is another thing I have changed as well, Pikachu, is the pickup rings on this guitar. Initially, there's nothing wrong with the original rings, but on the bridge pickup, what happened on the bridge pickup was where I wanted the humbucker to be was the humbucker pickup was like that, and then the pickup ring was below it. So you had this kind of like fall, like this drop off, and I don't really like that because if I strum back here, which is rare but does happen, because I tend to strum all up in the neck area, my plectrum hits the pickup ring and then the pickup. And it was just kind of creating this kind of thing, and it was kind of like making me kind of like, it just felt weird. And I've always loved these Gibson, I call them high wall pickup rings, but they're really, really tall, you can see. And so the humbucker sits right inside, it goes all the way inside the pickup ring. So I have installed them on this guitar, so and that's it. Other than that, the whole guitar is stock. It's the original pickups, original wiring, machine heads. Got this strung up with Diodario 9-42s as well. Although I'm thinking of going to 10s, weirdly enough, on this guitar. I don't know why. I don't know. It feels nice, but I think 10s would be nicer. I don't know. We'll experiment. But that's it, Pikachu. Right now for here. So, at the click of my fingers, we'll be back at my house to see more guitars. So, let's go, shall we? Let's transport ourselves 150 miles in a split second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, with a miracle of faster than light travel, we have travelled 150 miles to the second location of my guitar collection, bunker number 2, somewhere in the Pyrenees, maybe. We don't really know. I'm not going to tell you. I know, obviously, but you know. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Okay, so first guitar is my 1960s, 70s Zenta Strat copy. I don't know if it's 60s or 70s, I've got no idea. There's bits that lead me to believe it's late 60s, there's bits that lead me to be early 70s. We just don't know. No serial numbers, you can't date them. But this is fantastic guitar. Plywood Joy, sounds amazing, is amazing. Took this to France with me. This is a guitar I was playing on the Eurotunnel. It's the Eurotunnel blues guitar. Because I could sit in the front seat of the van and just play this guitar. It's 'cause it's 3/4, it's small. And it's literally one of the best guitars I've ever owned and will never get rid of. Again, if I have to get rid of this guitar, something's gone wrong and I don't like the idea of it. So, Queenie, give them a pan of the Oswald, as named by Queenie, actually. I can't take credit for that line. That is Queenie's line, the Oswald. So I wanted Nick's guitars on the show, and I've never actually done this, and I'm an idiot for not doing it. So now we have an Oswald. So, starting left to right, this is the Oswald Jag. Oh, by the way, there's only one Oswald that isn't here, and you've already seen it. It's the John Frusciante Strat that's at Queenie's house. Because it just seems to want to live there, as I've already said. Anyway, so yeah, Oswald Jag, this thing is insane. It weighs nothing, it plays... it plays... Cue me and it running through a meadow on a spring day, hand in hand, or hand in tremolo. Anyway, what can I say? This is literally one of the best Jags I've ever played. Mastery Bridge. It's just amazing. There isn't anything else to be said. Yes. And I love it. I love the headstock as well. The headstock's really cool. Next one is what I've dubbed the Oswald split head. They're actually called an OS, which is the, I think it's an Oswald standard. And this thing is amazing. This one originally came with a fan fret, but again, I didn't get on with fan fret, which I really, really wanted to get on with fan fret because it would have freaked out some blues purists on the blues circuit. It'd been great, but unfortunately I didn't because of my thumb over technique. But this is amazing. Nick's pickups, hardtail, three-way selector, everything's coil tapped. The neck on this is to die for. That headstock is one of the most gorgeous headstocks ever made, bar none. Nick, there's a reason I call him Master Nick. And this next one proves that even more so. The Pearly King. I've just realised there's a shadow because the diffuser light's on it. But it's okay. You can see it. There we go. The Pearly King Strat by, again, just another stunning creation by Nick. rosewood neck, roasted ash body, Nick's pickups again, just stunning. I'll tell you, come over here, Queens. I'll be the one to shadow things.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, amazing guitar. It's one of those guitars that, like, until I got a first couple of dings and nicks on it, I was like, no pun intended. I was like, oh, don't dare play it. And then I got a chip there. There's a couple of chips on the back, couple here and there, a couple on the headstock and the neck. And I was like, I can play it now. It's like you're breaking the ice. So heavenly. Okay, next one up. One of my all-time favourite guitars is my red Oswald hardtail Strat. This guitar means the world to me. Irreplaceable. Absolutely irreplaceable and priceless, that guitar is. And next one along. This is ace. I don't even have to film this, I can just talk.
My arms hurt.
Yeah, do you want me to take over for a bit?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So last one on the Oswald is the Oswald Telecaster that Nick made. That's the second guitar that Nick ever made me. And again, it's just perfection. It really is. It's a skinnier body, it's got the comfort cuts. Nick's Telecaster pickups are some of the best Telecaster pickups I've ever heard in my life. It's just stunning. So yeah, that's the Oswald. So we'll go down here now, Queens. So, next along, down here, we have my Squier Vintage Modified Jag. Again, irreplaceable to me. I can't imagine life without this guitar. It was originally green, refinished white, so that's that guitar. Behind it, it's a heavy guitar though, and it's got hooked. Behind it is my, I'm not going to mention the company name anymore, Peter Green Les Paul, I'm just going to call it from now on. There's a slight modification to that headstock that some people might notice, but this is my Peter Green Les Paul, and it's just stunning. I absolutely love it to bits. It has been modded though. It's now master volume, master tone, and a coil tap, and that doesn't do anything because why not? So that's it. Go to another Les Paul. This is my Revelation RTL 59. Again, literally one of the best guitars I've ever played. Sounds amazing. These Allen Entwistle pickups are some of the best humbuckers I've ever heard, bar none. Stripped the top. It was originally a cherry sunburst, but I stripped the top and now it's a 3-piece maple top. This thing is amazing. I was having some tuning issues with this guitar recently. And it kept telling me that it wanted gauge 10s. And I was like, but I like 9s. And it was like, I want 10s. And I was like, but I like 9s. And that went back and forth. And the guitar was right. The guitars were always right. I restrung this with gauge 10s. And it's a happy little bunny. And it's back. Back, baby. So yeah, that's my Revelation RTL 59. I've got to move on quite fast with YouTube because if I don't, we'll be here all day. And I've got another storage location to take you to yet. So next guitar online is probably the newest member to my guitar collection family. This is the Squier Custom Telecaster Baritone, and it is amazing. And you've got to get a good close up of the Rick Mail Saint Rick candle there.
That was my amazing present.
That was Queenie's one of Queenie's Christmas presents from last year, and it's actually one of the best things I've ever got, being a massive Rick Mail fan. Also, shout out to the guy who came to a gig and gave me that, which is just amazing. So, yeah, why not? Moving on. My number one guitar of all time and space, Mr. White, my 2002 Fender Classic Player, I think they were called. It's 60s reissue, basically. And again, this is the guitar that I learned everything on. It's the guitar that if something sounds wrong with that, something else is wrong, not the guitar. It's just, again, that is priceless to me. That you couldn't take that away and replace it with anything. It's just not possible. It's totally impossible. So, moving on from Mr. White, because again we've got a rocket kind of people tube, otherwise we'll be here all day. This is my Columbus Jazz Bass. This is from 1970, early 70s, somewhere between 72 and 74. I've been able to find out because it's got bigger machine heads. It's not the enclosed machine heads. It's got a maple neck, different wiring, full-size pots. It's not later on, Columbus went to little tiny alpha pots and enclosed machine heads. This doesn't have that. It's got the big proper jazz machine heads. And it's took me years to make that thing play. It's took countless tweaks on the truss rod, getting the electrics right. When I got it, the neck was literally like this. It was a woo! The action was like that high. You could run underneath the strings. It was brilliant. But yeah, it's Happy Bunny now, and it actually plays, and I'm so happy about that. I've also shaved the neck down, because the neck was like, basically half a tree. All they did to get the neck for this was, they went out to a forest, found a tree, chopped the tree down, chopped it in half, and stuck it on that guitar. Bass. That's what they did. Honest, it is, trust me. Took a lot of sanding, sat where I am right now, to get that right. Okay, moving along. Columbus 335 copy, probably very shiny. Shiny. This guitar is like a weird hybrid. It's like a mid 60s 335 copy. Cause it's got the block in, early 60s 335 copy. Cause it's got the block inlays. I think they did the block inlays somewhere like, was it 62, 64? I forget. But that's basically what this is. It's supposed to be a copy of the walnut ones. It is actually brown. It's not black. A lot of people see it as black, which it is in certain light, but it's actually brown in person. It's a bolt-on neck. Needed a lot of work, but it's amazing now. But it's a kind of hybrid between a 335 and a 330 because there's no centre block. It's totally hollow. But literally, this I did a shootout a while back because I had what was it called? Revival 335 by what was it? I can't remember the company name now. Terrible. And I did a shootout between this and that, and they both came out on top. They're both amazing, but when it came down to guitars I enjoyed playing, this one won, and the Red Revival went, and I kept this one. And literally, I will keep this one. I've had offers, people want to buy this off me, and I've turned them all down because no, it's not for sale. Because it's fantastic, and I just love it to bits. And it sounds like a 335, and it's got vibe, man. It's got mojo, man. It's got its mojo working. Okay, so that's that one. We'll leave you for a sec. We'll go here first. This is my 1979 Fender Strat, which I bought last year?
Yeah, around this time last
year. Yeah, this time last year. It was originally a natural finish, but I didn't want that. I wanted it to be a bit more colourful. And also, the ash body that's underneath here is extremely boring. It doesn't have any nice figuring. It doesn't look particularly pretty. So I didn't have a problem with going, let's get the spray cans out, Dave. Other than that, it's all original. It does need a refresh. Oh no, it's got a brass nut. It has been messed with in its life, but it is back to original spec apart from that. And obviously the relic refin that I've done, but it's got the original pickups, original pots, original select switch, original trem, jack socket, neck frets which are knackered, machine heads. It's quite hard to play now because of the frets, but you can still kind of get around it, but it feels like a fretless wonder. It's a bit weird. But it did have a white guard on it with white plastics, and I thought, what would it look like with a black one? And stunning is the word. It looks so much more amazing with the black guard than it did with the white stuff on it, basically. And this is just, again, irreplaceable guitar for me. It's really light, which again, for a 70s Strat is kind of what you want to go for, because some of them can be absolute boat anchors. But this is really light. It weighs literally nothing. It's one of the lightest guitars I own, actually, which is a bit weird for a 70s Strat. I think, yeah, so moving on to the next one, this is my 62 Strat. This is actually heavier than the 79 by a little bit. So yeah, if you've been around this channel long enough, you'll know the story behind this. This is my 1962 Fender Strat, original. It's not a reissue. This is a real 62 Strat. This year I had the pickups rewound, the bridge and the neck, because they just went open circuit and they just weren't there anymore. Non-original trem, non-original finish, but literally, again, an irreplaceable guitar to me. Again, I always think of Malcolm, the guy I got this guitar from when I played his guitar, and it is literally every time. I said to Queenie when I brought this down, every time I pick this guitar up, I've played a lot of vintage Strats. Every vintage Strat I've ever picked up, this guitar puts every single one of them to shame. It's just insane. It needs a restring. because the strings are dead. But it's just literally magic. Absolute magic. And again, if it wasn't for some of you out there, people tube, this never would have happened. This is a dream come true, but never would have been without some of you. So, forever grateful. So, moving along. Or is this the newest? No, this isn't the newest. This is the second newest gear acquisition. Guitar acquisition. This is my Gear for Music Knoxville Telecaster. It's a Telecaster. Let's just not call things by a different name if we all know what they are. Hey, this is a 7771777. No, it's a Strat, mate. What? Anyway, I know there's legal ramifications in there, but, you know, either way. So, yeah. So this is my Gear for Music. And I have really bonded with this guitar to the point where it's kind of weird, which I never expected.
It is really weird.
Yeah, it is very strange. But I love this guitar. And again, it's one of those guitars that, although it's cheap and inexpensive, I don't want to lose because it just has something and I don't know what that is, and that's the point. But it's fantastic. Love it to bits. That isn't going anywhere fast. Okay, moving along. Around here. So we move Mr. Jaguar. You stay there, mate. Flying V! Everyone needs a V in their life, and this one is mine. I did have another V. Again, by a company I will not name the name of. And it was amazing as well. But this one takes the cake. I've got to thank my friend Mike for this one, though, because he gifted me this, and it's just insane. It's got a really fat, chunky neck on it, but my gravy lord, is it comfy. And it's got a tremolo, which is always a bonus. Also, it's coil tappable, which makes it even more versatile. It sits perfectly. It sounds amazing. It's got 2 Epiphone humbuckers that sound amazing. I love the I think they're called the Maestro trem. I love the black and white. It's a set neck. It's not a bolt on, which again for a cheap V is kind of weird because they're usually a bolt on. It's got Grover locking machine heads. Mike, you're a legend for giving me this. Again, another guitar that I don't want to ever get rid of. In all fairness, my guitar collection where it is right now is, I was saying this to Queenie last night, my guitars and amps at this point in time is exactly where I want it to be. I don't want to lose any of this stuff. If I do, I'll be very upset. If I had to sell anything you see today or in the amp collection video, I would be really upset. It would upset me because it's took a long time to get a lot of this stuff, I've got to say. A lot of time and a lot of work to get a lot of this stuff. But Flying V, everyone needs one in life. This one's mine. And it's fantastic. And I really have to gig this. I have to gig this at some point, Queens. It has to happen. So, moving along. Okay, so this is Oswald number 1. This is the first Oswald guitar that Nick made for me. There is videos on YouTube of it. You can see him building this thing. Literally, it came from a slab of wood to this. It is a lot more beaten up now. This isn't a relic job. This is actually real wear from it being used. This is actually one of my main gigging guitars and has been forever now. And it's one of those guitars that if I don't take it to a gig, I feel like I'm missing it. Missing a limb. Even if I don't play it at a gig, I need it there. And it's filthy. It's... Again, the lacquer is chipped, it's all checked, there's buckle rash, there's chips and dents out of it all over, scratches. It came pristine, it ain't anymore. And I love it to bits. It's got Evil Sheep humbuckers, Evil Sheep single coils in it, which are amazing. He did these pickups especially for me. They're like 55 copy, I think, pickups, and they're just amazing pickups. It originally came with Seymour Duncan SSL 1s, which I absolutely hated. And I had to get rid of them, and Mr. Sheep was very, very kind to make me these, and literally these are some of the best single coils I've ever heard, and they just sound stunning. The guard was white as well. The pick guard was white at one point, but it's gone beige. Yeah. But again, just amazing. Love this guitar to bits. One of the best guitars in the world to me. Okay, moving along. Another one of my main gigging guitars, and I'll show you my other main gigging guitar in a second. This is my 1990 Fender ST62 Strat, which was refinished by Golden Era Guitars in Ireland. It's literally just recently been refretted. It's had recently had a 3-way switch put into it. Other than that, it's the original electronics. The switch was not original to the guitar. Original pickups though, original tremolo. Everything's original. It's just been refinned. And again, this was part of a series I did of seeing how close can I get a reissue strap to an original. And lucky having an original to refer to, this one is identical. Not only in kind of like looks as well, but like the way it finished. And I actually think this reissue looks older than my actual 62. Now, what's going on there? But what do you reckon, Pure Tube? Do you reckon this looks older than the 62? It does. That's a real one. This is a 1990. It's still technically classed as vintage now, I suppose, from 1990. But this is a Japanese-made guitar, and Japanese-made Fenders are stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it's getting more and more worn every time I play it. It's just... Scott at Golden Era as well is like a genius. He's just another one of those geniuses of, guitarology, if you will. It's just amazing. But this guitar is stunning. I love it to bits. It's got 5 springs in it because I don't use the trem. Basically it's flat down because we were at a trio rehearsal and I broke the trem arm off and the guitar was like, that's better. So I respect again. The guitars know what they want. You just have to listen to them. And this guitar knew exactly what it wanted. No trem. So it doesn't have a trem. Again, 5 springs. And job's a good one. So, okay, moving along. So we have to stand up again, Queens. I do apologise.
Okay.
This is my Tanglewood Acoustic, the Premier Series Acoustic. And I've had this forever. And this is my main acoustic until the bridge fell off. It catapulted off. Broke all the lacquer, broke a lot of the wood that I then repaired, which I'm quite proud of because it's still holding up. It won't forever, but at this point in time, we're still in tune. Kind of. But I repaired this, and I'm really impressed because you can't really tell unless you get really close to it that I've repaired this, botched it really. But this is one of my favourite acoustics of all time. It's had a lot of use. It's really worn. I've made the finish gloss up here. It's actually a satin finish, but I've made it gloss up there. Beaten up, but love it to bits. Buckle rash. It's got a really awesome volute on this. It's like a little pyramid. It's so cool. I don't know if you'll be able to get it in, Queens, without blurring. It'll probably be blurred.
It's not that close.
Yeah. That's the only thing I have problems with the Zoom Q8 camera is when you get things close, it just blurs. It doesn't focus.
I can see it on here.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay.
Okay, so moving along. Guitars on the wall. Okay, so here we go. This is my 2002 Korean Epiphone. This is my second ever guitar, bought for me by my parents on my 17th birthday. And I don't like it anymore. I don't like the way it sounds. Don't really like the way it plays. Don't really like the neck. But because of the sentimental value of this, and because of when I got it and why I got it, it means the world to me, and I would never get rid of it. And I don't know, a lot of people are like, well, that's really stupid. It's like, not to me. The sentimental value of that guitar outweighs losing it. It really does. I couldn't lose that guitar. Again, it's irreplaceable. Mum and Dad bought me it when I was 17. My second year of playing guitar, well, the start of my second year of playing guitar, I got that guitar. And speaking of my beginning of guitar, I don't know how well I'll be able to see this one. It's got, at this point in time, a train drawing that I did when I was really, really young. I still slightly am obsessed with trains, especially steam trains. And that's all I used to draw, was steam trains. That's why that's there. This is my first ever guitar, though. This is a Washburn Maverick Series, 3/4 size guitar. And it's just with an Ancoats guitar hat on it. It's just perfect. It was the perfect guitar to learn on. Cherry Sunburst. I seem to have a Cherry Sunburst thing going on with my first and second guitars. And I don't even like Cherry Sunburst. But, at the time it was like, that guitar just spoke. It was literally, from the get-go, that guitar was like, me. And it went for it. And I wanted to get a gold top Les Paul. I wanted to play Slash. I wanted a gold top. But they only had the Cherry Burst. And I was like, oh, Slash has got a Cherry Burst. And I played that guitar until I got my first Fender, which you'll see in Location 3 when we get to Location 3. And then I just fell in love with Strats, and then I got Mr. White, and that was that. Strataholic. Okay, so moving along to the final wall, acoustic wall. Right to left, we have the Admira Soledad. This is my standard tuning classical guitar. It's just a thing of beauty. Sounds amazing. It's electric. Let me come over this side, Queens. It's just a stunning guitar. Ebony fretboard, rosewood back and sides, spruce top, rosewood veneer on the headstock. It's just filth in the best possible way. It does have a bone bridge now on it, with a piezo pickup in the bridge. There's Andrew Lincoln behind it, riding his horse into Atlanta. Don't do it, man! Anyway, so that's that one. Moving along, the next one along is my Mountain, not Martin, Mountain. What is it? W120 acoustic. This is from 1974. I actually do have a date on this one. So this is my 1974 Mountain acoustic, and it is a total rip-off. Can I nick that set, Queens? That's one of again, if you haven't seen the video on this one, check out that for a lawsuit. Look at that. I mean, you can't get much closer or much of a rip-off than that. So yeah, there we go. That's a beastly rip-off guitar. But it's an amazing guitar. Again, it is electric now. It did have an adjustable bridge on it, like the Echo here in a minute, you'll see. But the luthier I take these guitars to refret, fix stuff up, he replaced it with just a bone bridge and the piezo underneath. And you would never know that it used to be this massive gouge, big metal bridge in there that you could adjust up and down. You would never know that. It's absolutely mind-blowing. He even matched the wood grain with the bit of wood he put in. It's just mind-blowing. So that's that one. Next one along the line, you've probably seen this recently. This is my Honor Western series. I believe this is like a 90s, early 90s acoustic. Again, I wanted like a Martin style acoustic, and this was way before that one came for sale. It's Korean made. Probably the easiest acoustic I have to play. It's just amazing. And onto the final one of Location 2. This is my 1970s Echo. What is it? I can't remember what model it is now. Is it Ranger? It's a 12 string. Hang on. Look at that. It didn't do anything. But if you get in there on the bridge, Queens, you'll see what I mean. That bridge is exactly what was on the Mountain.
That's better.
There we go. So that bridge was exactly what's on the Mountain. It was just that you had these kind of like these screws on the side, and a big metal bit in the middle, and then the bridge. Excuse me. And you could adjust the height, and that's gone now. So yeah, that's Location 2. Now we've got to travel to Location 3, which is always going to be fun. Location 3 is basically storage. This is where these are the guitars I have out all the time, and Location 3 is kind of just storage, so they kind of stay in cases, so it's going to be like an uncasing extravaganza.
Do you have one more to show?
Oh, I do have one more show. Thank you, Queenie. Yes, I'll be back in 1 second with a reveal of my other gigging guitar. Okay, people of Tube, may I introduce to you the new and Davified Chapman Pro X. So, this Pro X was given to me by Chapman when I became an endorsee of theirs. And for the longest time, I was like, I love this guitar. I love the way it feels, I love the way it sounds, I love the way it plays, but it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like me. And that sounds weird, but it doesn't look like a guitar that it was this kind of black transparent finish, and it just looked a bit too metal. And so, I've Davified it. So, I stripped the top. So, the black is gone. And this is just bare wood now. Well, it's not bare wood. I've waxed the top. I beeswaxed it. So, it's got this kind of yellowy, kind of orangey hue. I stripped the top. The back is still black. I've got 4 springs in it as well, because it just seems to like 4 springs. So, it has been stripped off. I will do a video telling you what I've done to this in better detail. But there you go, people do. That is the Pro X. The new Davified version of the Chapman Pro X. It is very extensively modified now. And I think I'm happier. Well, no, I am happier. I don't think. I am way happier. But again, I will do a video on this talking about what I've done to it and how I've done it and what I've done in a later date. But yeah, there we go. This is another one of my main gigging guitars and has been since I got it. It's the guitar I recorded the Trios version of Wicked Game with. It's another guitar I couldn't do without. It's just very special to me, this one. Really is. And even more so now. It's Davified. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's vamoose to location 3 now and do some uncasing. Okay, so we are in location number 3, which is extraordinarily hard to get to, location 3, because it requires a lot of travelling, you could say. Anyway, we're going to start location 3 now with this guitar. This is my really expensive air guitar. It cost me $8 million and is, well, one of a kind. It's really, really rare. It sounds amazing though, listen. No other guitar sounds that way. It's all like high spec. Anyway, I'll put that away. I don't need to see any more of that because it's expensive and you're not allowed one. It's mine, okay? Don't get any ideas. Moving on to a second guitar. This is the Brian May signature guitar that I have. Again, I don't really get on with this guitar, hence why it's in the storage location. This one is under the Andes. Secret bunker. Only I have access. Anyway, but yeah, it's a nice guitar, but I don't really get on with the neck. I don't really get on with the body shape. It's kind of hard for me to play. But it's cool, but it's difficult. Unless you're Brian May, you know, and in which case then it's easy. I missed. Okay, so I'm going to put these away as we go. I don't want to get all dirty, do we? Okay, moving along. Let's go here. That's just an empty case. That's a vintage. That's a vintage guitar case that I just chucked carelessly on the floor. That's from the 70s. Okay. I have no idea what's in this one. What a nice problem to have. Oh yeah, this is the Chapman. What is it called? This is the ML3 Pro. Awaiting a 1 meg pot. Because I don't like the way this sounds. I love the way it feels. I especially love the way this thing looks. Oh my god, is this one of the most stunning looking Telecasters I've ever seen. I just don't like the way it sounds. It's too dark, it's too woolly, there's no clarity, especially for the way I run my amps. It's just not there. It reminds me of a piano, like a Steinway. It's absolutely amazing. The neck on this is fantastic, but I just don't like the pickups at all. I just don't get on with them. And I think I've said that from day one with this guitar. But anyway, that's why it's up here, not being used, because, like I say, I want to get a 1 meg pot for it to try and see if I can get some kind of brightness out of it. It's got a 500k pot in it at this point in time, which has helped, but it still ain't there. It still ain't there. Okay, moving along. So, don't know what's in here. This could be the Gear for Music Blue Strat, and it is! Okay, so this guitar is the Daphne Blue Gear for Music Strat I bought recently, ages ago. Feels like recently. Time is but a weird thing these days. And again, I changed the scratch plate on it and did a lot of work to this on that video. And if you've seen the demo of it, this thing got into me in a very, very, very heavy, deep way. And it's just amazing. Again, don't recommend these to beginners because the necks are too wide. But if you're after like something kind of like a modding platform or just like a nice, inexpensive guitar, this is the way to go. These things are amazing. Like I say, I'm really attached to the... Funny enough, I've attached myself... The Telecaster attached itself to me more than the Strat did. Hence why this is in the storage location at this time. But it's still amazing. That guitar is still amazing. It sounds ridiculous as well. And again, you don't... It just sounds... It works. Let's put it that way. Okay, so next guitar. Oh yeah, okay. Here is the Yngwie Malmsteen copy Strat. it's just mental. Massive scallop fretboard. I don't know, can you see that, Queens?
Yep.
Yeah, like incredible scallop on this thing. But it's an amazing guitar. Again, my friend Mike refretted this for me. He put some really awesome pickups in it for me. Wilkinson trem, that's just amazing. Neck on this is absolutely beastly. It feels fantastic. But again, I don't play it a great deal, hence why it's in storage, because I've only got limited space at mine and Queenie's to have certain guitars out. So certain guitars have to be in storage, either for certain reasons, like I don't want them out at this point in time, or like, you know, I just don't want them to get damaged or anything like that. But yeah, so, and this one's just because I don't really play it a great deal, but I just don't want to get rid of it because I love having a scalp Strat in my life, and it's good fun to have. And again, it was I think it cost me like 60 quid, that guitar, and Mike, being legend he is, did all the work on that for free for me because he's a legend. You are a lucky boy, aren't you, David? Yes, I am. Okay, so moving along, another vintage guitar case and bag. This is another guitar. It looks pretty much identical to the Ingve, but it's not scalloped. This was a gift from a YouTube subscriber named Simon, and he very, very kindly gifted me this. It's a Squire Affinity Strat, and it's really, really nice. It's really cool. The neck is ridiculous. It's really, really comfy. It's just a cool thing. The only thing I don't like is the pickups. It's an Affinity, and I don't like Affinity pickups. I find them too thin and wispy, and they don't really have I don't feel they have much body to them. I think they're just a bit on the thin side, personally. So this guitar's awaiting new pickups, because I just don't like Affinity pickups. I think, like I say, they're just a bit too wishy-washy. I don't really like them at all. And I've got another Affinity, which you'll see in a bit, which again I've changed the pickups on. But anyway, moving along. Now this guitar case has 2 guitars in it, and I think that's true for the next one as well. So this is really heavy. Okay, because this is a bass case. So the joys of bass cases are you can put 2 guitars in them. So we'll go for this one first. We'll leave that one in there for the time being. Stand up, boy. There we go. Okay, I don't know what's in here. Let's find out. I have a feeling it's the... Yes, I was going to say, I have a feeling it's the Jet. Got a silver top. There we go. And this is up here because I don't know where I am with this guitar. I love it, and it feels great, and it plays great, and it is great, but I don't know where I am with it, which is a bit weird. I'm in like this weird no man's land with this guitar, where... And I think it comes down to the fact of just the silver burst on the front and then not on the back or anywhere else. It's just a bit of a weird looking thing. And also the white plastics and the gold plastics, and it just looks odd to me. But again, even when I play it, I'm like, I don't know where I am with this guitar. So it's up here at this point in time, because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But at the same time, it's one of those things of like, I can't lose it, which is a bit of a weird feeling, people with a tube, where you don't, because sometimes you get guitars and you're like, I don't know why, but I know I need to keep this guitar, and you're just like, I don't know why I've got it, and then one day I need that guitar. It's so weird. I had a red Candy Apple Red Strat for years and years and years, and I actually called it the cursed guitar, because every time I took it out, something badly went wrong. My amp would blow up, or something would go wrong with the audience. That happens a lot, or something like that. And I called it the cursed Strat. And then one day I didn't play it for literally about 2 years. It was just in my guitar rack gathering dust. And then one day I picked it up, and it was just like, and literally I used it as my main guitar for about 1.5 years, and then I sold it to help fund the 62 Strat. It's one of those guitars that I kind of miss, but kind of it's the ends justify the means, if that makes any sense. But it went on to somebody who does love it, so that's cool, and he used it as his main guitar, so that's really cool. And I was I was at the end with my of my tenure with that guitar. Anyway, moving along. This is the Aria Pro 2 STG series. This is up here because although I love it, I don't like the width of the neck. The neck is extraordinarily uncomfortable. And I do have plans for this, but I haven't got around to it yet because I don't have the time. And I'm not going to say what those plans are because it's a secret. But I don't get on with the neck of this guitar, but I love the way it sounds. I love the pickups, I love the tremolo, I love the way everything feels. I just don't like that. Even now, just holding it, I can feel the neck, and it's just not very comfy for me. And that's really annoying because I love the guitar. And it's got a really funny burst to it as well, actually, to be honest with you. It's like a weird kind of like almost watery, washed out kind of burst. Okay, so where are we? We're getting there. This is taking a long time, as per usual. Every year, I think it gets longer and longer. Okay. It's not a euphemism. Okay, so moving along. This is another guitar case with 2 guitars in it. In here is the Ibanez AZES. Or Zez. Love this guitar to bits. It's one of those just ridiculously comfy guitars, 3/4. Massive thanks for Ibanez for this. This is a gift from them, which again, never thought I'd get gifted anything by either. Don't eat your own hair. Don't eat your own hair, it's not healthy. But this is up here again because, again, I don't play it a great deal, but I just can't stand to not have it. Which is a nice problem to have, I've got to be honest with you, people tube. Anyway, moving along to this other one. Can you see it? It's quite hard to see this guitar because it kind of blends into the background. This is the Silver Surfer, and this is what happens when Dave gets bored and doesn't like the look of a guitar he has, and he has shielding tape around and decides to go absolutely balmy and cover the guitar in shielding tape. But it took this very stock, boring, horrible red Strat. It was a gross red colour, and it made it into something really, really awesome. And again, cool guitar, sounds amazing. It's got 3 rails in it, so 3 humbuckers. It's just ace. Just check it out, though. I mean, how cool. The neck on this is fantastic as well. It's a really, really fast neck. It's quite big, but it's really, really fast, and it's just ace. It's just ace. And yeah, Silver Surfer. So, can I get all this back in here? But again, like I say, I am at that point with this guitar collecting malarkey that I'm so happy with. Like, because I had a huge clear out this year of stuff that I just didn't need, didn't use, I just didn't need it anymore. And I'm so happy with where I am now. So, anyway, moving on to another guitar. This one, everyone knows and loves, me included. This is the Batacaster, which has new wiring. It's got a 3-way selector. Again, thanks to Mike, you're a legend. Weighs more than the world. I swear this is like £10. It weighs so much, this guitar does, but it's absolutely... And that's the reason I don't play it a great deal, is because it's so heavy. It's an MDF body. It's not wood, it's composite wood. And it's just had a hard life. And it's in semi-retirement. And it's just fantastic, this guitar is. It sounds amazing. These pickups are amazing. With new electronics, it's just alive. And it just... Again, couldn't be without this guitar. I just could not be without this guitar. It really does need a new tremolo, I've got to be honest. But that's the Batacaster. So, okay, we're going to quickly cut and make some space for this lot. So see you in a sec. Okay, YouTube, this is the final load. So this is the final stretch of this guitar collection 2022. Yeah. Okay, so first guitar in this old Selma case is the Sterling Axis by Music Man, and this is a guitar that blew my mind when I played it, because I was like, I don't like these guitars. And then I played this one and I was like, I love this guitar. And again, this is another Bob guitar, and again, don't play it a great deal, but it does something that none of my other guitars do, And all my guitars, not a single one of these guitars you've seen today are the same. They're just not. They all have different things to them. So that's still in Axis. So we'll put that away. I'm going to try and attempt to stack these as best I can. So, moving along. Oh, this is going to be the hard bit because they're heavy. Okay. In here, this is the 62 Strats original case, but in here sleeps the Jet JS300. Again, a guitar that I can't be without. These are the guitars that beginners, intermediates, advanced players, these are the guitars I recommend. These are just stunning. And 149 quid, you've got to be mental. They're just so, for the price you pay, these are outrageous. And again, it sleeps weird because I don't have space to have them all out. If I could have all the guitars out, I would. But over all the locations where these guitars are, storage out, all over the place, I just don't have the space to have all these guitars out. So I do have to make sacrifices, and Mr. Jet at this point in time is in the case. Not to say he won't be out in a year's time or a week's time or a day's time, because now I'm looking at it, I want the guitar out. But anyway, this guitar's amazing, and I say this is the 1962 Strats original case. This is the one that Malcolm walked out the shop with in 1963 with that guitar, and it went all around the world with him. This is the one he left. This is the case that got left outside a bar, and where was it again? Singapore, and he had to go back and get it. Anyway, so that's that one. I'll tell you what. Well, actually, I'll move these. I will move these out of the way as we go because it'll make more sense. I'll just lean them against the door there. Okay, so next one. I've actually labelled these so I know what's in them because I'm clever, you see. Okay, so next one. Again, this is a guitar that means loads to me. But again, I don't have it out and I don't play it a great deal. But again, I don't want to lose this guitar because this is like guitar history. This is my 1984 Tokai Gold Star sound. And again, this was a gift to me by a subscriber named Tommy, and massive thanks to him for gifting this guitar to me because it's stunning. And these were like a replica of like a 64, so they've got a veneer board, they've got a bit more of a lighter kind of burst on them, and it really does feel like a 64, 65 Strat. It's crazy how close it is. It's got pearloid dots. These are some of the best pickups I've ever heard in a Strat. They're just insane. I've got an ashtray on it because I've got two ashtrays. I've got one that fits the 62 and one that fits this, and they just belong. I also rewired this as well. The middle tone pot doesn't do anything. It's a three-way selector, master tone, master volume, 3 pickups. It's just one of the most gorgeous Strats I own. But again, at this point in time, it's in a case. In a week's time, a day's time, it might not be. But again, I have to make sacrifices because of space issues. Because again, I don't live in my guitar mansion just yet. So, moving along. So, standard. Oh no, so also a vintage 1960s Selma Crocskin case, which I was really happy to find. So this case was the 79 Strats original case, or is the 79 Strats original Fender hardshell case, but inside sleeps my 1976 Hondo 2 Strat. This has been refretted. It's just amazing. This thing is amazing. It's heavy, and again, that's another reason why this guitar's away. Is it's a big solid piece of ash and it weighs a ton. But it's such an amazing guitar, this one. And that net pickup, again, is one of the best net pickups in the world I've ever heard. And it looks stunning. If my 79 looked like this, I wouldn't have refinished it. But it doesn't look like this. It literally looks like a flat bit of wood with no grain. It's almost like it's plastic. It's just weird. I don't get it. Anyway, that's the original. That's it. And this is actually older than my 79. This is from 76. And yeah, that's that one. Amazing guitar. Again, do have videos on every single one of these. Okay, back there sleeps a couple of guitars which I'm not going to get out right now, but that's the 1962 Hofner Very Thin. That's not mine, that's my cousin's. That's empty. That's a guitar that I won't have much longer, so I'm not going to talk about that one. That's an Admira Classical. That's my sister's guitar that I learnt my first ever things on. And then I've got a double guitar case there with a guitar that I can't tell you about because it's a secret. You'll see it at some point, but for now it's a secret. And another guitar which I don't want to name the brand. But yeah, they're back there, and that's that. But I might get the one that I might not have for much longer. It's going to. I've got an idea. Okay, so here we go. I bet that's a glare, isn't it? This is my Gem Junior, people of the tube. Again, it's in storage right now because again, just don't have the space to have it out. But this guitar is ridiculous, and again, it's another keeper. I just love it. I literally love it. The only thing I don't like is the neck pickups too far away, so it sounds a bit more weird. But again, I love it for what it is, and I've relicked it, and it's just fantastic. Couldn't be without this guitar. And it's in. But this is my main gigging case for years until I got my Blues Reunion cases. That was my main gigging case. Okay, move along. This is another really, really special guitar. That case has seen better days. If your cases don't look like this, there's something wrong. This is a Hondo 2 Les Paul. And it's just stunning. I actually got this from a friend of mine. He's got a YouTube channel called Dr. Nerd. And he restored this guitar. And he did one of literally the most amazing jobs I've ever seen restoring a guitar. And it's just amazing. And again, this is just one for the collection that again comes out every now and again. It's quite fragile, but I still love it to bits. And it's probably one of the most gorgeous bursts. Let me look at it in this camera. Oh, filth. It's just got one of the most gorgeous bursts. And it is a custom. It's a full fat custom, and it's quite heavy. It's not plywood, it's mahogany body. It doesn't have a maple cap, it's just mahogany. It's just a big slab of mahogany with kind of like weird kind of weight relief cuts. It's really strange, but it's awesome. And yeah, that just rules the day. That is, and it sounds like no other Les Paul I've ever heard. It's got a really unique tone to it. Okay, move on. In that case, is ace. It'll stand up there. Okay, so this one is weird. So this is the case it came in. This was actually a pedal board of mine at one point in my life. I converted this guitar case into a pedal board in 2003. So to like 2003 to 2004, this was actually my pedal board. But in here sleeps my 1989 Fender Strat. And this is a Korean-made Fender Strat, which they only made for like 2 years. Or was it a year? I think it was only a year, actually. I think it was like 1989 to 1990 they only made this. Well, basically 1989. And I don't really know what was going on with it. It was originally blue. It's been refinished black. The blue is still under there. You can't really see it, sadly, but it is actually blue underneath. It's like a 50s style Strat, single ply guard, maple neck, single maple neck. It's got these Goto machine heads. Found out a long time ago through Andertons, I was reminded the other day while I was on a bit of an Andertons video binge, that this model of guitar was Lee Anderton's first ever guitar. Like, first ever proper guitar was one of these. And they're really hard to find. They're really, really rare. And again, this is the first Fender Strat that I got my hands on. And it cost me all of £50. Which, in all fairness, for me back then was a lot of money, considering I was getting paid £40 a month for what I was doing. It was a lot of money, but it was worth it, and my dad helped me pay for it. And it's just a really, really rare, but extraordinarily awesome guitar. And everything's branded Fender. It's a very high spec guitar, apart from the electronics and the pickups. But in position 4, if you put it in position 4 and play around here, it sounds like there's an Octavia on it. It goes high octave. And again, I've got a video on this to show that. But this was my main gigging guitar. This and Mr. White were my main gigging guitars, probably longer than any other guitar I've ever played live. This guitar and Mr. White are the ones. And there's footage of us playing a festival in Mablethorpe big up Maplethorpe, in 2012 where we're doing Bad Penny on YouTube, and this is the guitar I'm using in that video, and it just sounds like no other guitar I've got. It's a really distinctive tone this thing's got, and I love it to bits. And again, this is the case it came in. It still smells like it smelt the first time I saw it, and I love that. And it's from 1989. That's old now. Okay, moving along. This guitar means a lot to me. This is another Bob guitar, but it's in the Pro X's case. This is the case that the Pro X came in, the Pro Dave came in. There you go, I've renamed it. But this is my ML1 Traditional that Bob bought me back in 2020 in lockdown. And this is the one that I took for my interview with Lee when I did the Captain Meets. This is the one I took. And he didn't know I had a Chapman because I didn't take it out. And I wasn't planning to get it out. And Ben just randomly goes, "You've got another guitar with you." I was like, I wasn't supposed to get that one out. I just wanted him to sign it later on after the video. But it became part of the video. And in all fairness, this is my favourite Chapman guitar. These pickups are amazing. Alright, calm down. The pickups are amazing. The way it looks is amazing. I love the purple top. That went under there, didn't it? Come out. Come out. No, come out. I don't know what you are, but you can go away. And it's just amazing. The neck on this is fantastic. And Lee signed it on that day. So, because to be honest with you, I never expected to be invited back to Anderton's after that. And the fact that I did get invited back again is crazy to me. And so, but this guitar's up here because it's, again, the sentimental value of it. But this is probably my favourite Chapman guitar I own. I mean, obviously I love the Pro X. But the Pro X to me is like a live tool. It's like one of the most perfect live guitars I've ever owned. Because I don't really play it outside of live. It's just one of those guitars. Whereas this one is something I would play outside. But again, at this point out, I don't have space to have them all out, which is sad. But it is what it is. So, moving along. And that case is absolutely immense. I don't know what's in that. Something. Okay, moving along. That's a Zoom case. Zoom box that I know. I like the box, so I kept the box. You know. Sue me! Okay, I don't know what's in it, but it's very light. Oh yeah! This is my Legend Strat. I got this when I was in France. I wanted to at least bring one guitar home with me from France, so I bought there. And this is the one, and it's just amazing. I love it to bits. Bought this from... I can't remember where it was actually. I can't remember the name of the city we went to buy it. But it's an amazing guitar. It wasn't when I got it. It was a wreck. It'd been in a garage for years and years and years. But it's an amazing guitar, and it's just ace. I love it to bits. So Legend Strat. It's like a 58, 59 style kind of looking Strat. Okay, moving on to the final guitar of the day, and I have plans for this one very soon. I can barely fit anything down anymore. Okay, I'll just get it out. Okay, so this I have plans for, but this is my Squire Affinity Jimi Hendrix style Strat. So I bought this years and years and years ago as a present for my birthday, and it was just a stock left-handed Affinity. And I used it quite a lot. It would have been 2006 I got this guitar. And I used it quite a lot in a band I was in. And it was Sunburst at that point. And again, I do have videos on this explaining exactly what the deal is. But I had it refinned in nitro. So all the lacquers checking, should I say. And I had it refinished when I worked at Old Hat. It's got Evil Sheep Experience pickups in it, which are just stunning. This really weird reversed Fender logo on the headstock, which I just loved and had to get for this guitar. Jimmy on the back of the headstock because he has to be there. And yeah, there we go. So that's this one. It's my Jimmy Strat. And again, I have plans for this soon, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are because it's a secret. I have lots of secrets. But anyway, that goes back in here for now. So that's it. Actually, we will get one more out because, if I can. Okay, so, there are some guitars there, but they're not mine. So there's no point showing them because they're not mine. They're my sister's. So, and they're just basically, there's a Kurt Cobain Strat and there's an acoustic. And then there's just an empty case. So, this is the last one. So this one is a Teisco Audition guitar that is in mint condition. And somebody messaged me the other day saying, oh no, that's a reproduction. It's definitely not a reproduction. Why would you reproduce one of these? I don't know. But this is an original Teisco Audition. And again, it doesn't have a scratch, dent, ding, anything on it. I'm terrified of it. It's the model 7001, made in Korea. And it's just one of the coolest guitars. It's light as anything. How one of these has been kept in this condition, I'll never know. It's still got all the stickers on it, which is rare. It's a nightmare to film because it's really shiny. But one pickup, volume tone, still got the original V&T things. It's got the marker, original chrome bridge, original tremolo, original frets. It's never been refretted. The fretwork is atrocious, but it plays. It's got the 0 fret, original Audition sticker, original machine heads that are still white. This is insane. This is actually a terrifying guitar, and as a result I have a plan for it. But yeah, there we go. Okay, so oh, and by the way, people, this is my first ever hard case that I ever got. I was carrying my Washburn Maverick series about because I didn't have a case. I didn't realise you needed a case. I was carrying it around, and then when I went to enroll at Grimsby College of Music, the guy who said, have you got a case for your guitar? And I was like, no. He goes, you should really go and get a case. So me and my dad went off to Paul's Music in Grimsby and bought this case. And this is the guitar case I carried it around in forever. And then it was a kind of a gigging case for a long time. And then now it's just a storage case for the mint condition Teisco. So anyway, there you go, Pooper Tube. That's my guitar collection 2022. It's a lot, but I love them all. Like I say, there is guitars back there, but they're not mine. I don't really want to include them because they're not mine. Like I say, there's the Hofner and my sister's guitars that are just in storage as well here because she doesn't have room in her house. But yeah, so there we go. So thank you for joining me at my 3 locations. Storage location of my guitar. Like they say, this is the last one. This is the storage one. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, YouTube, and I will see you again very soon for another one. Oh, Happy New Year! Happy 2022, 2023 transition period. And yeah, thank you very much indeed for watching. I'll see you again. Have a great one. Good morning, good afternoon. Say goodbye, Queenie.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.